Hey, what's up guys? It's Alli back again with another video for you. This is a video that has literally taken forever to make because the first time I filmed it, when I went to upload it, somehow I accidentally deleted the clips. So it said I couldn't upload it, and then when I went to refilm it, my son broke my ring light that I usually film with. We didn't break it, but he made it fall over and it burnt the bulb out, so now I gotta order a new bulb for it. It's just been total chaos, and don't mind my background. I'm in our second bedroom slash computer toy room. I don't know. But so today I'm gonna finally be telling you why I had to go to the hospital about 2 weeks ago now. So if you want to hear the crazy stupidness that occurred, then just keep on watching. Okay, so this happened about 2 weeks ago now, but it was a Friday, I remember that. So we have a dog and a cat, and my cat is an only indoor cat, but he always tries to get out because there's some like female cats and other cats that like to roam around our house and go like under our house because we have a little like broken piece under the deck that they like to crawl in. So I think that's why he always tries to get out, but we don't let him out. He's only an indoor cat, and so every time I go to let my dog out, you have to watch the cat to make sure he doesn't slip by the door because he's fast. He will get past you if you're not really closely paying attention. So I went to let my dog out. This was like 10 in the morning maybe. And so I went to let him out, and I saw the cat was there, and I let him out just fine, but there was a garbage bag on the deck that had to go into the garbage jet. And so after a while, I opened the door to like check on my dog, just a crack, and make sure he wasn't getting into the garbage while he was outside. And as I did that, when I turned around, I must have pulled the door open just enough when I turned, and my cat slipped right out the door, and I was like, cool. I'm only a stay-at-home mom with my son by myself, so like it's just me and the animals and my son here. And usually if the cat gets out, my husband is here to help me get him, or like if someone's here, then they help me get him. But it was just me that day, and I am 6 months pregnant, so it's not really ideal for me to be crouching down to get him. And so I was like, shoot, what do I do? And me being hormonal and whatnot, I'm like starting to cry and panic, like what do? I don't want to like leave him out there, because like when he gets out, sometimes my husband's like, just leave him out there, let him go. If he comes back, cool. But we live right across the street from a railroad track and a busy street right in front of our house, so I don't want him to like get killed, you know. I'm way too much of a loving mommy to do that. I went out there and I tried to get him, and I'm crouching down as much as I can. There was still a little snow on the ground, even though it's spring. A storm had come like the week before, so we're still snow melting, and it was muddy even though it was like sunny and kind of warm out. So I like went out there, tried to get him. I went out there a couple times and tried to get him. Actually, nothing worked. And even the couple times that he did almost come out and I tried to grab him, he would just go right back under the deck. So eventually I went back in the house, and I was like, whatever, I'm just going to leave him out there. And every time I would go back out to check him, he was still under there. So I was like, okay. And by this time, my husband was texting me like, whatever, you know, just leave him out there. Don't worry about it. But I couldn't do that. I was like, no, like I have to get him in here. I'm gonna go nuts like if he runs away. And he's only 8 months old, so he's not even like a full-grown cat yet. And so then I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna try one more time. So I went out there with my 2-year-old. I left the door open just in case Toby, his name is Toby by the way, Toby tried to come up and just run back inside. My dog was out on his leash. I was sitting on the deck with my 2-year-old because he was just playing with his toys, and I was waiting there. In the meantime, I got a splinter in my finger, so that's cool. But then I'm sitting there after I'd given up, and after almost an hour of trying to get him, and finally I look over, and Toby had come up from the deck, and he was like, him and my dog were like smelling each other, and I was like, this is my opportunity to get him. So I went over to grab him, and he kind of ran down our little sidewalk and looked at me and stopped. So I was like, boy, I'm not about to run. And then he turned to go by our garbage cans right by our house, and as he did that, I was already kind of like crouched from trying to grab him. When I went to grab him, I slipped a little bit on the snow, And I did catch him, but as in the meantime of catching him, I slipped and fell. And when you're pregnant, it's not really ideal to fall anyhow. So, and I fell on my knees and my left side and not on my like bump, which is good, but it still freaked me out because I didn't know really how hard I fell, or it all happened so fast. Like I went to get him and it just like, boom, I was on the ground. So I bring the cat and the dog in the house and my son, and I'm kind of freaked out at this point. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna drink some water and lay down for a little bit and just feel her kick and like ease my mind. So I did. It was like around 11 at this point, so a good hour of me getting him. And I laid down. She was kicking away. Like she must have been kind of freaked out too, like, whoa, what happened? But she was kicking, she was moving good. And I like texted my mom and my husband just to let them know like I got him, but I had fallen. And they're like, wow, good job, we told you to like leave him out there. But then after I laid down for about like 45 minutes, I got up and I started like just doing stuff around the house again. But there's just like, I was just so paranoid. Like even though she was moving, I was like, I just want to make sure she's okay. Like, and nothing got like moved around in there because it's all still sensitive. And I know there's like a lot of like stuff protecting the baby. I just wanted like that peace of mind. So I was like, I was texting like, should I call my nurse, my midwife's nurse, and like go get checked out? And they're like, if it'll ease your mind, do it. So I called, and the receptionist said a nurse will call you back. So within like 20 minutes, I want to say, a nurse called me back, and she had me explain what happened. And she's like, okay, yeah, if you fall, we recommend you come in. But I was only 21 weeks at this point, and now I'm 23 weeks. So they're like, really, at 21 weeks, if something were to happen, you were to go in labor, there's not much, we can do. The baby is still kind of small at this point. So that was like, oh, thank you for easing my mind about that. But I wasn't bleeding, I wasn't leaking fluid or contracting or anything that I was like aware of. So she's like, come in at 4:30. Your midwife is booked all day, but there's an on-call doctor here that you can see, and just for like peace of mind, and we'll check her heartbeat and her movements and stuff just to make sure you and her are both okay. And I was like, okay. But then she paused and she's like, actually, for like 2 minutes, she's like, actually, and I'm sitting there like, actually what? Like, what's going on? And she's like, actually, could you come in at 2:30? And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like probably 1:30 at this point, and my husband had our car at work. So I was like, you need to come and get the truck and give me the car so that I can get to my appointment. She's like, yeah, come between like 2:30 and we'll get you in. So he came and gave me the car, and I get there, and they got me in pretty fast. They, checked my heartbeat, and my blood pressure was a little high, which was like, okay, I guess. They considered me a little freaked out, but then the doctor came in and I explained to him what happened, and he's like, you're not bleeding, you're not leaking fluid or contractions or anything. And I was like, no. He's like, well, since you fell, I'm just gonna like feel around like your bump and do some like tests. He did some like leg tests on me and everything just to make sure I could move and I didn't like break nothing, and that she was okay. And he heard her heartbeat and it was good. But since he was still kind of like just wanted to be on the safe side, he was like, I'm going to put in an order for a non-stress test, which is like they hook you up to a contraction monitor and a heartbeat monitor on your belly, so they can track the baby's heartbeat and measure if you're having any contractions, which I've never done before besides like being in labor with my son. So I was like kind of freaked out, like, okay, like I'll do it just to like be sure that she's fine. And so like 20 minutes later, they hooked me up to these monitors. I'll insert a little clip that I took, just so you guys can see like what I did. So yeah, then they had me hooked up to the monitors for like 20-30 minutes just to watch her heart and measure if I was having any contractions, which other than the normal Braxton Hicks, I don't think I was. But at first the nurse had to sit there and hold the heartbeat monitor on and keep moving it because baby girl kept flopping all around, so it kept making her heart rate look like it was going down. And so she had to sit there, and she finally got it in a good spot. So yeah, once they got it in a good spot, then I laid there for a while. And I had my 2-year-old with me, so trying to entertain a 2-year-old while you're getting this test done is hard work. Because usually I have someone come with me to my appointments, but this was like kind of like, you know, an emergency appointment, so I didn't have anyone with me to come and keep him busy while the doctors were doing all this. So then like 30 minutes later, the nurse comes back in and she takes the paper that like measured everything to the doctor, and he said everything looked good and I was good to go, and then just to watch for, you know, any of the bleeding or leaking of fluid or contractions. If that were to occur, then I'd have to come back immediately and be seen. But I haven't had any of that. She's been good. She's growing. Yep, she's 23 weeks and 2 days today. So we're doing good. My blood pressure is still a little high, which they're watching because I had preeclampsia before. So we're trying to make sure that stays down. But other than that, everything is good. We're both healthy, and I go in next week again for another appointment. So yeah, that was the craziness of why I had to go to the hospital, all because of my cat. And I know it's partially my fault. I should have just let him be and not gone after him. But when you're a mother, you can't just let your babies go. But yeah, so that's my little story time for you guys that I finally am able to upload. Sorry, this is probably going to be my quality for a while until I get a new ring light. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.